Well, more discussions this week around some big Canadian military procurement deals on both submarines and fighter jets. Rob Huebert is the director of the Center for Military Security and Strategic Studies at the U of C. Rob, as always, thanks for your time. And let's start with the jets. Get us up to speed on possible deals on the table.
Well, one of the most frustrating elements, of course, with all of this is that we've been looking at trying to decide how to replace our F-18 since the term of Harper. So that's how long it goes. Right now, there are very strong indications that the Carney government is, in fact, going to make the decision to go for a split fleet, though. Again, there is so much that is uncertain. And a split fleet, of course, is that we are already taking on some of the F-35s that we've already paid for. So the Air Force is, in fact, meeting with their counterparts in the U.S. to be upgraded. But we are also considering getting some Griffin at the same time. And it also remains possible that we're using this as a means of perhaps setting ourselves up for negotiations with Trump when we meet for the free trade negotiations. Basically, we're still up in flux in terms of what we're going to be doing with getting the replacements for the F-18s.
And Rob, help us understand, if you buy a jet from whether it is the U.S. or the Griffin, what kind of long-term relationship do you have with that country in terms of upkeep of the jets or software upgrades, that kind of thing? How much do we need to rely on the country of origin?
The essence is where we are with modern air power and what we are getting the jets for. They're there to fight a war. I mean, ultimately, you're getting them to defend your country, and the expectation is that you have to have them at that capability. Modern air warfare is so complex and so advanced in terms of what aircrafts now have to do, is that we fully expect that you always have to be updating the electronics. You have to be upgrading all of the capabilities of that aircraft to be able to see its environment around, to talk to other elements of your forces, and to engage. And because of the rapidity of change in technology, it means whoever you buy that aircraft from has to be able to upgrade it to bring it to its maximum capability. It's not like in World War II. You can buy a Spitfire and then basically that was it, and then you got another new type of Spitfire after that. We're in a different type of environment where the technology is key here, and the ability for whoever you buy it from has to keep it up at the cutting edge of where that technology stands.
So potential volatility with that country is a concern. Let's talk about submarines. What's the latest on that competition?
Well, right now we're going into the period where very few people on the outside are hearing the specifics in terms of the two pitches. We know that from a public relations perspective, both the Germans and the South Koreans are really putting a full pitch on. In other words, what we're seeing all around us ads about long-term relationships. We're seeing the way that they're trying to sort of embed, it's not really directed towards you or me, it's directed towards the policymakers, but basically saying, hey, buy Korean and you'll have a good relationship for the next 30 years. And we're seeing similar types of efforts on the part of the Germans. What that tells us, of course, is inside that undoubtedly the Navy is going to both shipyards, is making its evaluation. And if Carney's government is to believe, we should be seeing a decision coming fairly soon. But again, when it comes to military issues, we always have to be a little cynical in terms whenever any of our governments say it's fairly soon.
Okay, not just buying the equipment, but lots of politics involved as well. Rob, thanks so much for your insight. Very much appreciate it. That is Rob Huebert, Director of the Center for Military Security and Strategic Studies.